There we go. There we go. Good morning. Good evening. Good afternoon. Is the audio solid? Okay. I think it's solid. I see it's peaking, so that's good. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Trying to get center. There we go. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. Shout out to Leo Wichi for the 22-month sub, my friend. Thank you. I appreciate you, buddy. You have no idea how much I appreciate that, man. You're a real one. Shout out to One Trick Luna. Thank you for stopping in. Enjoy your family time. Enjoy your family time, buddy. Talk to us when you're done, and enjoy that moment. Enjoy any moment you get to spend with your family, guys, because, it's a blessing. It really is. What's up, Sir Tay Money? Thank you for stopping in, my friend. Okay, the cheer. Let's go. Shamrock. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Um, if this is your first time here, welcome in to the new viewers. If you're back, if you're a regular, if this is where you come to every Thursdays at 7 p.m., welcome back to the returning Four Seasons community. I am your host, Four Seasons, spelled Ivsznz. And this is a space curated by us all to be open, honest, and vulnerable surrounding the topics of mental health, relationships, self esteem, goal setting, goal achieving, and accountability. So, how we feeling, y'all? This is the last day of April. This is the last day of April. How we feeling, y'all? What's on our minds? I'm feeling pretty good. One thing, I'm happy that this month is over because it has been a long month for me. It has been very long. 5 weeks, you know? And because it's been 5 weeks, we have four words of the week to reflect on today. So keep those in mind, y'all. Certain Money says just in time. Yes, just in time. Perfect timing, y'all. Lee Wishy says happy to have made it through the month. Man, bro, who you telling? I'm right there with you, man. But we did it. We're at literally at the finish line. So I feel really good about that. Certain Money says last day of work, so I'm slightly above the line. Okay, look at you. We're not even there yet, and you already above the line. I'm here for it. Let's keep that going for the rest of the month. At this point, let's just keep it going for the rest of the month because today is the last day. So let's keep it going. Um, so if you guys don't already know, the theme of the month for April is April showers bring May flowers, right? And so this month was 5 weeks of content. This is the fifth week that we've had the podcast land on, which, is a blessing and a curse in a sense because I've done a lot of work. I've had to do a lot of work on top of work in real life that is not adjacent to the podcast content that I put out every week. So, y'all, also, update. I will be here Saturday. I will be here Saturday for our co working stream. I have missed 2 weeks in a row due to other work stuff, but this week we're back. And I'm making a declaration for myself and for you guys that um, I'm going to give myself one Saturday each month to schedule other things that may take precedence on Saturdays as well. So just one though, one Saturday a month. But the rest of the Saturdays, we gonna be here co-working because when I tell y'all, me not having my co-working streams, me not getting my cleaning done like it used to, has thrown my life out of whack a little bit. But I'm still standing. I'm still here. And this Saturday is going to be a healthy stream too, y'all. When I tell you it is going to be a long Saturday stream. So pop in and out if you need to because I'm going to be here because I got stuff to catch up on and new things that I can add to the rotation. Also, I'm also considering having another co-working stream throughout the week where it'll allow me to get some work stuff done at the same time. So I'm thinking maybe Monday. So if y'all see a co-working stream notification pop up this coming Monday, click on it and see what's happening, because I might be here Monday mornings doing some work with you guys if the Lord allows it. So I'm really happy about that. But we're here. We're back on track. We're back on the rails, and we're pushing strong. So I'm happy to be here with you all today. So, what we do here as a part of our check-in that we do here, we do a little thing here called the line dynamic. So let me go ahead and pull that up for you guys. And this was a concept curated here by us all, specifically Leo Wichi and I, just talking about life and finding out a better way for us to visualize where we're at in regards to our mental health or our mental capacity, that just makes sense for us, right? So we're going to go from top to bottom to make a better understanding of what the line dynamic is, right? So as we see here where it says above, we're going to start there based off those emojis: happy, ecstatic, excited, cool, chill. Being above the line, which that indicates means we're in a good headspace. That means we're operating at all cylinders on go. Things are smooth, things are streamlined how they are. And because of that, we are above the line. We're feeling good, we're feeling happy, we're feeling great, right? And so when I am above the line and I have the capacity to, that's the big thing. Sometimes being above the line is just, for ourselves, that's all we can really do. Let's relish in that. But sometimes when I am above the line and I do have a little bit more umph or energy to give, and it's not going to deplete me to the point of getting on the line or even below, I give it to somebody. I give it to those close to me. I give that bit of energy to hope, in hopes that they're able to pull themselves to being above the line with me, being on the line if they're below it, or just getting from below the line, right? So that is the goal that I try to achieve whenever I'm able to be above the line and have that energy to give. Again, sometimes I don't to have that energy to give, and I just give it to myself. That's all I can do. But that's the real. That's how I feel, and that's how I define what it means to be above the line when it comes to the line dynamic. Our second tier, which is smack dab on the line, and as the emojis reflect, it just means okay. You're neither great, but you're also not terrible. And so being okay, as I'm learning in this day and age of my adulthood, it seems like just being okay, being on the line is a majority the constant of what people go through. It's just being present. And while that might not be the most exciting thing, it is real. It is real. And sometimes being okay is all we can do, and being okay is okay. With everything that's happening in the world right now, sometimes just being content is enough. So if that's where we're at, that's where we're at. That's the realism of it all, right? And so, last but definitely not least, at the very bottom of the screen, you see the emojis that are angry, that are sad, that are discontent, shocked, disgusted, right? Those emojis represent what it means to be below the line. And when we're below the line, that means we're not in a great mental state. We're not in a great mindset. Things just aren't seeming to be up for us in that moment, right? And for me, whenever I am so far below the line and I feel that whatever I'm going through may be toxic, or expression I like to use, I don't want to bleed on anybody with what I'm going through. I isolate when it gets that bad for me. I isolate and I just kick it with myself and God. And during that time, I give him the emotions that I'm feeling, the questions that I have, the frustrations that I'm going through in the moment. And I just seek guidance through him. If he gives me an answer, if he urges me to move in a certain direction, once I'm not so volatile, I'd say, I move how he tells me to move, right? Once he tells me what to do, I move. Um, and then, once I'm out of being so below the line, and if I am still a little bit below the line, what I tend to do is reach out to my support group when I have the capacity to, right? When my mess isn't as messy, I reach out to my support group, right? And for me, my support group consists of, which can look vastly different from you guys' support group, right? But my support group is consisted of my family, my friends, my any type of professional help, so therapist, life coaching, something I do. And then last but definitely not least is reaching out to my church group, my church family, my spiritual leaders, God. He's the first part of it, but I reinforce that, because that's a big part of my support group, right? And so, yeah, I reach out to all of those branches in my support group, right, in my support tree, at the same time, because I know that something from each of those is going to push me in a direction that'll push me closer to being on the line, or even just skyrocket me to being above the line, right? But it's all about timing. It's all about giving it to God, and all about understanding my emotions and how they're at right now, how they react to certain things, right? So, yeah. With that being said, I'm going to offer you guys a question. Where are we at on the line? Give you guys a few moments to gather your questions, and then we can discuss here in a little bit. Be right back. All right, all right. We are back. So the question posed is, where are we at on the line today? Leo Wichi says a wee bit above. I love to hear that, brother. I do. I do. I would say I'm the same way. I'm a wee bit above. I'm thankful and happy that I'm still being consistent with the podcast and being present here with you guys. I love that y'all always show up. The Four Seasons community, y'all community like no other, and I appreciate y'all, each and every one of y'all. So whenever I'm able to be here and spend time with you guys, um, be vulnerable and share with you guys, and you guys do the same, I'm always thankful and grateful. I'm thankful for my basic needs. I'm thankful for electricity, for my computer working. I'm thankful for good old Spectrum not acting up today. I'm very thankful for those things. I'm thankful for God allowing me to still be able bodied, being able to stand here and be here and move and speak and have a right mind. I'm very, very thankful and grateful for those things. So I'm happy to be able to share that with you guys every Thursday. So with that being said, we are going to move into talking about April reflection, right? Certain Money says, definitely shout out Spectrum, yes. Liucci says, say that. So if you guys are unfamiliar of what the words of the week were for this month, I'm going to put them in the chat for you guys. Let's see. And we had 4 words of the week, y'all. My goodness. I think I spelled them all right, right? Okay. All right. So the words of the week for this month are in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and pin this so it's just there for all of us to see, because we're going to be using them, right? For what we have in this part of our April reflection, right? So we're going to be reflecting of all the words of the week that we had, and how they affected us. So let me go ahead and move on to this. Bam. Okay, perfect, right? So I put the words of the week in the chat, right? And so I have a few questions, 4 questions that I'm going to answer, and you guys are free to answer as well, right? And I'm going to give a little context on each question, and how it affected me this month, right? So first things first, question number 1. Which word of the week showed up the most for you this month? And as you guys can see, the words of the week are at the bottom as well as in the chat. So feel free to use that and type that in the chat for you guys as well. So for me, which word of the month showed up the most for me this month? Appreciation, addiction, adjustment, and alignment. I would say adjustment showed up the most for me this month. And because, and I'd say that because this this entire month at this point, almost going on 2.5 weeks now, my schedule has adjusted so, so much from what I'm used to. Who I was and what I was doing back in March to April now has been a topsy turvy kind of thing. And I'm thankful. I am so thankful and blessed for all of it because um, just what we were talking about last month in March, manifesting. A lot of the things that I manifested back in March, back in, what is it, December when we were doing our vision boards, right? Um, all of it has come to fruition, which is kind of crazy. It's so crazy, you know. I'm looking at my vision boards now, and literally all of them are coming into fruition actively right now, right? And so because of that, I've had to do a lot of adjusting. And you guys have seen it in real time, you know, with me not being present for my co-working streams these past 2 Saturdays, right? Um, I've been adjusting to a lot of the changes, a lot of work changes, a lot of responsibilities, you know, a lot of responsibilities for me at church, you know. Um, in the position that I'm in, they're giving me more responsibilities at the church, and I'm taking them on, you know, and it feels good. But it's a lot. It's a lot of changing, and where I'm at right now, with work and all these other things that are happening for me, I'm learning that I have to schedule my life how I need to, right? Keep going on the things that I need to, and just keep adding the new things and making them fit in the schedule that works for me, right? And so I don't have a standard, you know, schedule, but things change, you know, and so I'm trying to keep my boundaries in check. I'm trying to keep myself in check. I'm trying to be present in the relationships that I have with my friends and my family. And it's been a lot. It's been a lot this month because it's so new. I think that's why it's been a lot. But I'm adjusting. I'm adjusting, and you know, I think I'm doing a good job with these things being thrown at me out of nowhere, right? Leo Wichi says adjustment. I feel that. Serte Money says adjustment. I feel that. Leo Wichi says, bruh. Serte Money says this was a rough month to get through. So much with the kids. I get it, bro. I understand, man. You know, but we're doing it. You know, we're doing it, and it's getting done. You know, that's all we really can do, right? Is be present and get this stuff done, right? So, with that being said, let's move to question number 2. Which word of the week showed up the least for you this month? Um, and again, those words of the week are appreciation, addiction, adjustment, and alignment. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. I would say addiction showed up the least for me this month, and with good reason, right? And so I think I told you guys at the beginning of the month, golly, because it's been 4 5 weeks at this point. Golly, it has been a while. Right? Wow, wow, wow. So at the beginning of this month, my gaming group, my buddies, my fam, Leo Wichi is a part of it. It's the four amigos, myself, Leo Wichi, our friend Vanessa, and our friend Mr. Cuno. We dedicated um, the beginning of this month to do, I would say, a fast for some, but it was mainly a a time for accountability, right? Accountability for the things that we want to accomplish, the things we want to get out of our lives, right? And just being very specific with one or two things that we wanted to focus on, right? And it showed me, you know, that some of the things that I was fasting from low key were addictions, you know. Um, and because I was doing it with a group of people that helped me accountable, that when I would fall off, you know, when I would slip, they didn't hold me to the fire, but they also were firm and like, okay, so what's the next steps? We gonna get back on this horse and go even further, you know. And it was that type of encouragement that allowed me to be strong, right? And so yeah, we ended our fast on the 21st because it was 21 days, and it was it was an experience. It was an experience. It was showing me the willpower I had. It forced me to learn to be more open with sharing some of the things that I struggle with, some of the times that I fall. I'm the type of person, I keep stuff to myself for the most part, but my friend group has been great at giving me a safe space to be open and vulnerable for things that I may not want to, right? And in doing that, it holds me more accountable for the things that I'm going through. So, um, because of that, addiction was not something that showed up a lot for me this month, which is great. It's great. Leo Wichi says addiction, LMAO. I feel that, brother. Yes. Serte Money says alignment, honestly. Okay, okay. I'm intrigued to know a little more about that. Um, at your own discretion, my friend. Nobody's forced to interact or be vulnerable here, but it's open. It's a safe space if you do. Um, so with that being said, we're going to move to question 3. Which word of the week did you struggle the most with this month? What did I struggle the most with? And again, those words are appreciation, addiction, adjustment, and alignment. What did I struggle the most with? I think I'm a double down and say adjustment again. That was one I struggled the most with, as I said earlier, because it showed up the most for me. I struggled the most with it because it's something that was so apparent and so brand new for me, right? Like I said, adjusting to different times, different schedules, different responsibilities, and also making sure I create time for myself, because the work that I've been doing, if I don't create time for myself, I'm not going to have time for myself. So just being a little more at expressing my boundaries. It's saying this is what I'm off today. I can't do any work for y'all today. This is my off day, or I'm done. I'm not doing any work after this time on this day, right? Um, Not responding or answering to calls at a certain time, and I think I want to put like a kickback message for emails or even text messages to be like, at this time, I'm not available. I'll respond at a certain time the next day, or my next day that I'm available, right? And so it's just really put into my mind, I have to be my own boss. I have to be my own man and stand up for what I have going and be able to juggle the things that are coming my way, right? And it's been a struggle. There have been times where I was like, okay, God, is this too much? Is this enough? And I'm learning that God is never going to give us more than we can handle. He also gives us discernment to know when to not do things, when to not move and when to move in a different direction, And I'm trying to be more spiritually in tune with Him so I can hear and see when those messages are being presented to me, right? Excuse me. So, yeah, I would definitely say because of all of that, adjustment has been the one I've struggled with the most this month. And honestly, I would even say alignment, because I started to question certain things that were happening. Like, am I on the right track? Is this what you need me to do? And even when I do that, God seems to reinforce to me in certain way that, okay, this is what you're supposed to be doing. You're on the right path. Trust in Him with all of our heart, all of our might. And I've been doing that. And when I tell y'all, things have been paying off, but it has not been easy. So yeah, I would say mainly I've been struggling with adjustment, with a little bit of alignment sprinkled in there a little bit. Just you know, just wondering if I'm doing right. And like I said, God is reinforcing that what I'm doing is the right thing. Serte Money says addiction. Addiction is struggle with the most this month. I feel that. I feel that. And it makes sense. When we're addicted to things, and we try to stop, it's like, okay, this is difficult. I definitely suggest, if you can, with whatever you're struggling with, try to find a group of people, or even one person that can hold you accountable for the things that you're struggling with, because it's helping me. Especially with it being such a long month. My goodness. Um, but yeah, those I would definitely say again, doubling down that adjustment with the little sprinkle of alignment have been the two words of the week that I have been struggling with the most this month. Um, Last but definitely not least is question 4, which states, which word of the week did you find least challenging this month? So again, our words are appreciation, addiction, adjustment, and alignment. So which of those did I find the least challenging this month? I would definitely say appreciation, which is so which is interesting. And I would say interesting because I feel like this month with everything that's happening, um I've been feeling appreciated by all of my circles, all of my support groups, the people that I'm interacting with on the majority, there are some people here and there that may not be showing that type of appreciation, but earlier this month I had my graduation from church, and my mom and Leo Wichi came out and supported, and I really appreciated them appreciating me. So it was twofold for that. Um, I had a little conflict with one of my friends, one of my close friends, and we just had a conversation and let everything out, and we both started to appreciate each other more. And I'm happy about that, because where I'm at right now, I'm very serious about my friendships. I'm at a point where I know, as an adult and having adult friends, I know that we're not always going to get along or see things the right way. We may say something that rubs the other person the wrong way, but where I'm at with my friendships, I know that I can have a conversation with them and be able to express to them without being as volatile as I used to be, or so self-centered as I used to be able to find a resolution, or at least get the ball rolling for a resolution, right? And I'm so appreciative of the people in my life who are on the same level as me, or at least putting in the effort to not let conflict ruin a relationship, because conflict is gonna happen in any relationship. So um, I'm appreciative of those in my life who are able to meet me there, right? So yeah, I would say definitely, and then also with, me working in the church, and, the leaders of the church really, pouring into me and saying I'm doing a good job and whatnot. It really feels good. It really feels good. So I would definitely say that for me, the least challenging word of the week for me this month is definitely appreciation, because it showed up effortlessly for me. So I feel good about that. Sir Tay Money says appreciation for sure. I love that. I love that because we already getting it, right? We're getting what we needed, and I feel like this is a great way for us to move into this next month, right? Um so yeah, definitely. So, those are all the questions I have for the April reflection. I do want us to dive into a little bit of what we do here, the 4 seasons of understanding, right? And so I want to dive into that a little bit, just for us to wrap it up a little bit, right? And so if you guys are new here, or you may have forgotten what the 4 seasons of understanding are, right? They are the season of being mental, the season of being physical, the season of being emotional, and the season of being spiritual, right? And so I'm just going to reflect briefly on all 4 of those seasons, and where I'm at, where I feel like I'm at, and how some of these words of the week really influenced those things for me, right? Leo Witchy says, my stuff got stuck again. Appreciation. Okay. Well, welcome back, my brother. I welcome you back. Um, so we're going to start with season 1, which is the mental season, right? And so reflecting on my mental for this month, it has been it has been pretty good. there have definitely been some times where my mental has dipped a little bit, and like I said, when it came to um, being in alignment, making sure that I'm in alignment with the path that God wants me to, and because of that, some of that judgment, or I'm trying to think the right word, I guess miscommunication with myself, or even I guess imposter syndrome. I would say that it came from a lot of the responsibilities being given to me. I'm not gonna say thrown at me. They were given to me quickly. I'd say, like here, not thrown, but like given to me quickly. Um, those things, and then also, this is just me being real. I feel like there's some people that are at the church, have been at the church for a while. I'm pretty new. It has just been officially a year of me attending the church. It has not been a year of me being a member. I joined back in September. Um, I feel that some people in the church are kind of questioning how or why I'm put in the position that I'm in at church, which shows through some of their actions. Because some church folk can be really nice, nasty, or very passive aggressive. And majority of the people in my church aren't, right? But nobody, no church is perfect. Nobody's perfect. And so there are a few people, couple people that haven't been as warm or welcoming to me, being in the new position that I'm in and the type of responsibilities that I've been given. And I would definitely say that those have been points where I'm like questioning, am I supposed to, because of how they're acting towards me? But then I also quickly, I get into the mindset that I'm not doing this for them. What I'm doing is not for them. It is to serve God. And me being a servant, I'm able to serve those who are serving God as well. And that's what I'm doing. That's why I do it, right? And so regardless of how these other people feel, ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm just letting God lead me. So whatever you feel over there. I'm gonna just keep doing what God has led me to do, right? And so, because of that, I would say my mental has been up and down, but majority it's been pretty up. It's been pretty up because I'm getting the appreciation counteracted over these few moments of feeling out of alignment, right? So, yeah, I would definitely say that for the season of mental. Season two is the physical season. So, I'm happy to say, I think I told y'all, I got my gym membership, um, and I started back last week. And as those of you who know, even adults, young adults, when you don't do something physical for a while, you get sore. That's what happens. You get sore, and usually the second day after recovery is the worst. And when I tell y'all that is exactly what happened to me, I was like, oh, whoo, I haven't done this in a minute. And I worked out for I think about an hour and a half because I was like, why not? Um, and I was like, okay, I feel this. And so this being week two, I went to the gym yesterday, and it was not as bad. The recovery process isn't as bad. I'm still sore, y'all, but it is definitely not as bad as it was last week. And where I'm at this month, I started with fasting. I started with walking on my walking pad that I have here, and last week, I started going back to the gym. So I was taking baby steps, y'all. I was taking baby steps in the right direction. And ultimately, I am where I'm supposed to be, right? And it feels good. It feels good being in the gym, for me. I'm used to doing it when I started back in college when I was dancing. Um, I would do 2 a days. I would have dance class, which lasted for 90 minutes, um, Monday through Friday. And then I would, after classes, I would go to the gym. And when I tell you, I was in the best shape of my life during college. You couldn't tell me nothing. And I'm trying to get back to that. Maybe a little different type of build, a little more muscular. I'm changing. I'm changing. I'm allowing God to mold me into who He wants me to be, you know. And so I'm just excited about um, what how motivated I am to be more active now, and I'm excited to see the transformation physically that's going to happen. You know, and I'm learning that it starts with your mental when it comes to anything that you want to change in your life. Right? You have to be mentally ready to change. You have to be mentally ready to put in the effort to get the outcome that you want. And I think I'm in that right place. No, I'm not thinking. I know I'm in that right place. You know, I'm in that right mindset because of all the steps that have happened this month to where I'm at now. You know, I was talking about getting back into the gym and I did it, you know. So I'm doing what needs to be done, you know. So that is the season of physical. So season 3 is the emotional season. And I would say my emotions have been in check for the most part. I haven't been, you know, spiraling or going off or crashing out on anybody, you know, which is a blessing. But I have been doing a little more isolation um, than I would than I'd say I did last month. And it's because with so much going on, I need time to myself sometimes to process some big emotions I would be having, right? I told you guys earlier, you know, I had a little conflict with one of my close friends, you know, and my emotions was not in the best place. I was hurt, you know, and I was like, okay, let me isolate. Let me take some time, you know, and unfortunately I isolated a little too long because um, so many things were happening in my life that I did not get back to having that discussion or addressing that conflict as quickly as I would want to because of everything happening. But, you know, I'm blessed and thankful that I was able to, you know, get into that conversation, discuss, you know, listen to them, they listen to me, and, you know, on the other side in a great mindset and a great space for that relationship, right? Um, but yeah, I've been doing a lot of isolation, or I wouldn't say compartmentalizing it, but taking the time to be like, okay, I don't want to react in a negative way. I don't want my actions to be permanent to scar this relationship. Let me take a little bit. Let me give it to God and let me move in the right direction, right? And so that's what I've been doing emotionally, and I think I've been doing a pretty good job, right? Last but not least is season 4, which is the season of spirituality, right? And for me this month, when I tell y'all, I've been at the church more times than I've been at home, I feel like. Um, it has been it's been great, but it has taken so much of my time. And because I've been at the church, I'm hearing more of the word. I'm being more around. I'm being exposed to being more. What is the word? I'm being exposed to a lot more of the word because I'm around people who preach the word or who talk about the word, right? And just like what they say, when you know learn a new language, the best way to do that is being submerged or surrounded by that language, by people who speak that language, by signs that are in that language, right? Um, because that way you get a better understanding of how it is naturally, how it's supposed to be, right? And I've been doing a lot of that with the church, you know, going to summits, being a part of certain teams, certain ministries, you know, getting training in certain things, you know. It has been a blessing. It really has. And I feel like my understanding of God and my relationship with God has just grown tremendously because of that. When I tell y'all who I was last year, and y'all know it for the most part because y'all been with me for multiple years, who I was and how I saw things last year was is completely different than who I am today. And you know, all that glory goes to God because He changed me. He literally came down here, adjusted me, flipped me 180, and I am walking in a direction that I never would have imagined that I would be walking down, right? A path of, you know, being a disciple, you know, with Christ leading my life, you know, and I'm happy. I'm happy. You know, I feel like I have guidance. I have a direction that I'm going that makes sense for me, you know, because prior to this year, I was just, I'd say I'd be meandering and just going through limbo in life. And where I'm at now is like I have a purpose and I'm walking in that purpose, and I see God, opening doors for me and leading me to places that, like I said, I never would have imagined I would be going. But I'm just blessed that he got a hold of me, because I don't know where I would be if he didn't, right? Um, we're just gonna end that there. We're not gonna get too emotional, because we just did the season of emotional. So we're talking about spirituality, right? But yeah, we're gonna wrap that up here. What we do here towards the end of the show is our wrap up. And in our wrap up, we have a thing called Know For Sure, right? And Know For Sure is a place where whatever we talked about throughout this podcast, from the beginning to the end, what I know for sure, what I learned from that, is something that I know for sure, right? And so, what I know for sure is that April showers bring May flowers. And while the showers here, we've been having thunderstorms where I'm at, may have been heavy, I just know that the growth that is going to come from all these showers, from all of this adjustment that I've been doing, all these alignments, is going to put me on a path and a trajectory that is in alignment with what God needs me to do, right? I've been shedding my addictions, and I have been around people who appreciate me, and I appreciate them as well, right? And because of all of those things that have been happening, I know for sure that this next season, this next month, God has aligned for me, is going to be a great month. And I'm just in the passenger seat, and he's in the driver's seat, and I'm just buckled up, ready to go, right? So that is what I know for sure. So shameless plugs. I am a coach, a life coach. I have a life coaching program called Through the Seasons with Four Seasons. Today is the last day to sign up for it, and it'd be free. I'm telling y'all, I am not. After today, it's going to be a price on it, because it works. I have clients who have done some 180s in their lives as well. And I know it's golden, so if you are interested in it, again, it's a 4-week program where I walk with you, beside you, whatever season you're going through. If you feel unseen, if you feel emotionally stuck or between chapters, I have a coaching program that is catered to you. So again, if that's something you're interested in, it is free today. After today, it's a price on it. Again, if you're interested in it, send me a DM here, or go ahead and send me an email at fourseasons@gmail.com. That is Ivsznz@gmail.com. If you guys want to be up to date on any of the notifications when I go live, notifications when I upload to YouTube, there's a YouTube in the channel chat as well, or any of my life coaching programs or sessions that may be open to the public. We might have some of that happening soon. Go ahead and check the Discord out. That's in the chat as well. I will be back this coming Saturday for my co-working stream. That will be at 11 a.m. EST here on this channel. So I'm excited to be back. And again, y'all, this Saturday, this co-working stream this Saturday is going to be lengthy. It's going to be a healthy, girthy stream. It's going to be big. It's going to be real big, because I got a lot of stuff to get done. So y'all can come in and out throughout the stream if y'all need to. I'm going to be here getting things done. And I'm excited to have y'all be a part of it like y'all usually always are. So with that being said, I want to lastly, but not leastly, thank you to everybody who came out tonight. Thank you to the followers, the lurkers, the subscribers, and everybody in between. Big shout outs to the Four Seasons community. Y'all show up and show out every time, and I love and appreciate y'all so much for that. So with that being said, be good to yourselves and be good to everyone else, and I'll see you guys later.